Hello everyone, I'm Unix, and today I'm going to show you how to make an easy renewable source of essence of knowledge in modded Minecraft. And so I'm in the mod pack Enigmatica 2, but the mods I'll be mainly using is Industrial Foregoing and Thermodynamics, as well as a little bit of actually additions and cyclic for this portion up here. And so what this farm is in general is you have a bunch of pigs here that will breed, they'll make babies, and then the babies will be separated, they'll be killed when they grow up, and then from that you will get Essence of Knowledge. As you can probably imagine, to do this you also need a constant source of carrots, or if you're using a different type of animal like a cow, you would need, of course, wheat. And so let me just quickly show you. I won't go into too much depth because I think this is self-explanatory. Just use an actually additions farmer here, just power it, and it will automatically basically just do everything for you. And I just have here a sprinkler from Cyclic to make it a little bit faster. And so I have all those carrots going into here, and the general gist is that this then goes into an animal feeder, then you use an animal baby separator, and then you use a mob crusher. And so let's get into the tutorial. Like an idiot, I forgot to actually record my voice when I built it, so I'm going to just be narrating over the clips of me building it, okay? Okay, let's get started with the tutorial. So you are going to need 3 machines from Industrial Foregoing, and that's going to be the animal feeder, the animal baby separator, and the mob crusher. And so we're going to start with the animal feeder, which will just, what it does is it takes carrots and it will just breed the animals that are in front of it. But you also want to have 4 add-ons. And so there's going to be 3 range add-ons, which are range +2, which are using lapis, and then adult filter, which we'll then use for the mob crusher. So there's that. So starting with the animal feeder, you want to place it sort of going away from you like that. And I'm using here a 4x4 area, but in actuality, the range add-on will make it work a 5x5 area, so you can make it slightly bigger. It's up to you, but it's not a big deal if it doesn't cover the full area. And so you can use the show working area here to actually show you where it's operating, and so that's exactly what I want. These edges here will be walls, so it's not a big deal. It shouldn't mess up anything, but yeah, set up that first. Okay, so the next thing you put is the animal baby separator, and so again, put it facing away from you, and put the add-on in there, the range add-on that is, and when you look at the working area, you'll see it should be the same area as the animal feeder. This is exactly what we want, and what this machine essentially does is it takes the baby animals that are in that working area and will push them out to the other side of the machine, and so it will push it onto the other little 4x4 area that we have there. And so then we're going to use that for the mob crusher. But yeah, that's this step. Before we move on to the next step, we want to set up a way to actually turn on and off the animal baby separator. And that's because in the beginning, if you just have 2 pigs in the feeding area, then that area will never populate. You'll never get more pigs than 2 because the babies will instantly be pulled out. So we want to have a way to turn it off and then back on when we do want it to start pulling animals. And so I'm just going to show you here the way I set up just a lever to turn it on and off the way I want it to. And so I'm just digging blocks there, and I'm going to put a redstone torch there that powers this solid block. And then I'm just going to place 2 redstone right there. And so, of course, then we'll have to change the redstone properties of the machine. And then finally, I just put a lever here. So go into the animal baby separator and set it to active without redstone. And so with that, it means that when the lever is off, the redstone torch is on, which means the animal baby separator is not working, not powered. But then when you turn the lever on, the redstone torch becomes off, which does power the animal baby separator. And I think that just makes more sense, having the on state mean that the baby separator is actually powered. Okay, so next you're going to put the mob crusher, and so once again facing away from you, like that, and put the range add-on in there, and you'll see that it is working a 5x5 area. It does not include these iron bars here. that are off to the side, and to be honest, I would put solid blocks there, or else, because the way it is right now, the pigs that are here on the edge will not be picked up by the mob crusher until they move. But that's not a big deal. Okay, so next you want to put the adult filter, and what the adult filter does is it doesn't kill baby animals in front of it, it only kills grown-up animals, and so when the baby animals actually grow up, they get instantly slaughtered, which is what we want, because the baby animals will not be dropping XP or pork chops, so we only care about the adults. Now we want to feed power into the machines, and so just dig a tunnel like this under the machines. I believe that's the easiest way to power them. And I have this here hooked up to my main base, and so these flux ducts are actually conducting RF. And so as you can see here, I'm just running it underneath like that, and whenever there's a machine, I go up one with the flux ducts to power it, and then put some dirt on top so that you cannot see the flux ducts, and now it's powered. So there are two types of outputs that we have to deal with. So one is the fluid essence, and then the actual mob drops, like pork chops. And so we want to deal with both. And so when it comes to the fluid, just set up a fluid duct like this, coming out of it. And then I'm going to put a servo here to actually, extract the fluid. So I'm using thermodynamic pipes here. And it's actually going to a fluid dictionary converter, also from Industrial Foregoing. And what this does is that it turns essence buckets into essence of knowledge buckets, or just liquids. And that's because essence of knowledge is the more useful fluid than just essence. So you want to turn it into that, at least in my opinion. Okay, so now for items. There are a couple types of items that we are dealing with. And so I just have here an item duct connecting to the system I already had from my other farm here. And so I'm using here black hole units to actually store. And so we care about pork chops, which are produced there, and also these things called tallows from the cork mod. So check with your mod pack, see if it produces these items as well. I might use them later for some type of energy, but right now I just want to store them. And then also what we have is here a magma crucible for a specific item that is made, which is the solidified experience from actually additions. And so if you put that in magma crucible, it will spit out essence of knowledge, not essence, but essence of knowledge. And so every now and then when the pigs are killed, you'll see that solidified experience. So we want to be able to deal with that. And so I have there a filter as well to make sure that only solidified experience goes into the magma crucible. Okay, and so now you actually want to set up the walls of your farm, and we're almost done here. And so I'm just going to use iron bars and glass. Okay, now that the walls are up, we actually want to populate it with pigs. And so I'm personally using a mob imprisonment tool to store the pigs, because you can just place them like that just by right-clicking. And so it's pretty easy, but you could also just manually put pigs in there with like carrots or something. And so I first want to have this lever off. So I don't want the animal baby separator to work in the beginning, because I actually want to be populating this cell before it starts extracting pigs to the other side. And so I'm just going to go here and pick up another pig from my other pen. And in the beginning, they will not breed because the pigs are still on breeding cooldown, since I took them from the other pen and they had just bred. So I'm actually going to show you here. If I just put carrots in there manually, it won't work, unfortunately, just yet. As long as we just wait like 3 minutes or so, it should start working. So for the time being, let's actually hook up the crate where we keep our carrots from the farm above. And so just putting a servo there, and you'll see it will start spitting out carrots in there to fill up the animal feeder. And then it will just be a matter of waiting, and so I'll show you when the animals breed. Okay, so here the pigs breed, and this is also when I realized that I forgot to turn on my mic, so the rest of this video is the actual recording. Okay, so as you can see, the two pigs bred, and there's the baby. And so as I have this off right now, nothing will happen. The baby will not be pulled into the other side. And so this is how you, again, populate this cell. In 5 minutes or so, the pig should be able to breed again, and so it'll continue like that. But just to show you how the animal separator works, let me turn this on, and you'll instantly see this guy's vacuumed out. Boom, there we go. And now it's on the other side, separated from its parents a little bit. Again, inhumane. I'm sorry. And as you can see, the mob crusher is on. It is trying to do something every 25 ticks, but it won't because it's a baby. And so I'm actually going to show a clip of where, when I was waiting, you could see in the background these pigs were dying, and that was because one of them was going up and instantly being killed. The thing to note before I leave is that the animal feeder will not work if there are more than 35 mobs in its working area, so like that. And so you cannot have like 100 pigs in here and have a really fast farm. You're kind of limited. And so if you ever see that your farm has stopped working, it is because you have too many pigs in here. And so I would recommend killing a few of them to allow sort of a buffer of baby animals to exist and then be scooped to the other side. But yeah, and that's also why I'm not combining these two farms. That's why I'm keeping them separate, because I don't want these working areas to overlap. But I do want more than 35 pigs here working. Okay, so that's it, and thank you so much for watching.